Today I'm going to build a morel bed. Pretty simple, 3 pieces of wood, 2 will be the side. I'll cut one in half and that'll be the 2 ends. So I cut the end board and then I got 4 corner boards. The reason I'm using the corner brace boards is because the wood's so thin that I don't want to wind up splitting it, so I'm going to use them to screw into instead of the actual board so they don't get damaged. So here's the finished morel bed. It's 2 foot wide by 4 foot 2 inches long. The reason I did it so tall is because morels don't like being in the sun, and it's going to kind of be in a not really sunny spot, but the tall walls that help shade the ground inside a little bit. I just cut the woods and put 2 screws in, one at the bottom, one at the top. Not a big deal. And then we're going to go make the mixture now for the morel bed. What I've done now is I've placed the bed underneath a white oak tree, and I'm hoping that it does good with this tree, so to build a symbiotic relationship with its roots. But what you see in the box here on the left is sand, which is loam sand is better, but I picked up this it's like play sand. It kind of has some shell-like materials, which mushrooms actually like shells. So I got that grade, and then in the middle right here is some actual biochar and ashes from a leftover burn pile of oak tree that I burned. So that's good matter to mix in. It'll really grow, the mycelium will grow on the leftover wood, and it actually, because biochar has a bunch of pores in it, and there's a lot of big pieces of biochar, so the mycelium will grow in that real good when it's mixed through. And then we have medium grade peat moss. I really prefer large, but all they had was medium, which would make it where there's clumps in it of the material. So we're going to mix them together, and then I'm going to, after we mix this up, we're going to mix some wood chip and then some leaves that's been ran over with the lawnmower. And that ought to build a real nice natural type environment for them. And then of course it's going to be worked in with mainly compost. So you want to have at least 50% or more compost added in on this. And then of course I'm going to mix it right into the ground, about 4 inches into the natural soil. So we'll get all that mixed up, and then hopefully it'll grow real good. So what I got here is a freshly grinded stump that a guy just dropped off a bunch of wood shavings to. So we got a 5-gallon bucket of wood chips, some compost, which we have some more compost because this mainly has to be compost. And then I have a potting mix and perlite mix that I'm going to go ahead and throw in there. Actually going to add some leaves to this too. Probably a 5-gallon bucket of leaves that's been ran over with a lawnmower, so they're in small pieces. And then after I mix this in, I'm going to add some gypsum and some lime. And that should be it, besides more compost. So I'm going to add this, mix it up, and of course you mix it with the previous stuff that I mixed up. It has to all be mixed up real good. So I'm just going to add 1 5-gallon bucket of leaves. That should be plenty, and these are grinded up real good. I failed to mention earlier I used sugar maple wood, the chips in this. Just make sure it all gets mixed in. I keep adding the ingredients kind of 3 at a time so I can keep turning the soil more, because it ain't going to hurt it to keep turning it. So basically what I've added here is about 3 cups of gypsum and 1 cup of lime. It's time to add the spawn, the morel spawn. So basically all you do is crumble it up in here. I'll spread it out and then work it down into the soil 6 to 9 inches. And then I'm going to add a layer of burnt wood chips and then water in it, and we'll be done. So this is what my morel spawn looks like. It's basically looks like a sawdust block with the mycelium growing in it. What you want to do is just basically break it up through your bed in small pieces. The directions really don't say if you're supposed to do it ultra fine, so I'm going to kind of leave it clumpy because the way mycelium works, I mean, usually the bigger it is, the faster it grows. But you just want to make sure you get it all throughout the bed. Just break it apart and spread it around. So yeah, just spread it out pretty evenly and then work it 6 to 8 inches down in the soil. Read online that some people plant their morels in their Jerusalem artichoke beds and asparagus beds, and also with tulip flowers. So I'm going to actually plant 2 asparagus plants in here. Hopefully by fall, maybe, or next spring. It takes usually a growing season to produce. So work it in, and that's about it. So what we got here is purple passion asparagus. My hopes in planting this in the morel bed is it'll be that it will be like a cover crop from the sun, because in this spot it does get a little bit of sun, and hopefully the ferns will cover it. So I'm just burning a small pile of this wood chips here that I got. You don't want to let it burn all the way, the chips. You want to move them around. You just want to kind of scold them. Okay, so that's it. We're done. All you gotta do is keep this thing watered for the first couple weeks real well. Never let it go dry. Always keep it moist, but don't flood it out. In the drier months, water it more when it needs it. And then hopefully by spring, we'll have some morels, or this fall, never know. I cannot believe this. Maybe some of y'all can. So, as y'all remember, I planted this bed in January 17th. If y'all happen to watch it. If not, go back and watch it. I bought a kit from gemushrooms.org. It was a Morel Kit. And it's been since January 17th, and we already have 1 morel that came out down here. Our first morel since January 17th. That is amazing. It grew so fast. So I just wanted to show my second morel of the season. There actually was some more, but they died out. They withered away with this hot weather coming up. The first one was found over here. And then the second one, the heat's starting to get to it. You can tell by the color of it. So it ain't been growing but about, I don't know, a week or so. But it grew. It didn't get too big. But it's pretty nice. I mean, it's edible size. Little small thing. So yeah, I just wanted to share the second morel off of this bed here that I did. Hopefully it'll last for a few years, and I'll keep adding material on top, compost, and probably burnt wood ash, and just whatever I can find laying around that I can throw in there that's compostable. They'll eat it up. Well, that's it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.